Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Um, Today's gonna be a lot different than it normally is because today Prince died. Um, Now a lot of people who follow us probably, if you don't know me personally, don't know, but I'm a really big fan of Prince. So this was kind of weird. Um, just give you a little backstory. I actually first really became kind of intrigued with his music through the movie Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That was my first real exposure to him outside of what I'd heard on the radio. Actually, when I was younger, when Doves Cry would come on, I thought the song was absolutely terrible. I love it now, but I used to think it was just absolutely a terrible song. Um, and kind of in keeping with the whole comic book theme of the channel, I would say that my first actually knowledge of Prince at all has to do with 1989's Batman. If you remember, he did the music for that. Bat Dance, Party Man, a couple other songs that were pretty good. Um, but yeah, and this is just, I just kind of wanted to make a video to record my feelings on the matter. I mean, this is weird for me. This is strange because I'm not a big celebrity guy. I usually don't care when people die. Not that I don't care, but it usually doesn't affect my day. And this one, I mean, I didn't have a bad day because he died, but definitely it feels strange. Um, it's kind of it's weird. It's like kind of all of his really, really good music was behind him, you could say, even though I have been following his stuff for forever. I was listening to his recent stuff, 3121, Minneapolis Sound. I thought that was pretty good. Even his newest one, his Hit and Run, that wasn't too bad. So I was a big fan of the guy more than just, the pop hits you hear on the radio. And like I said, this is strange. This is the Beatles dying for me. This is Elvis croaking. It's it's that thing that it's it's that you can't have it anymore. It's the whole fact that he's gone. There's no more music to be made. Even though, Elvis, you could say it was past his prime when he passed. The Beatles had been broken up for a while before they all started dying off. And Michael Jackson, another prime example of a guy who, probably his best albums were behind him, but it's a weird feeling. It's you don't have them anymore, You can't, if you want another Purple Rain, there isn't another Purple Rain, which I think is a good thing. Earlier this year, David Bowie died, and a lot of people were saying, oh, David Bowie is gone. Who's gonna replace him? Um, Nobody. And I feel that that's kind of the same with Prince, is that nobody's gonna replace him. Nobody can, and nobody should. That's musically, and that's kind of what he always talked about was musically, it's not don't try to be him. He hated when other people covered his songs. He absolutely hated it. Even though he covered other people's songs sometimes, and he let some artists do it. I don't know. He was a weird guy. Like there's no I have no delusions about that. Is that he was strange, but he was insanely talented, and he made a lot of good music. And yeah, it's just weird just that he's gone. And there was no signs of nothing, and we've had a couple other celebrity deaths this week, but he's gone. I don't know. It's just a weird feeling. Um, I will say though that I was driving home, and it made me feel really good though, because I switched between three different radio stations, and you could not listen to the radio without hearing Prince. There's something special about hearing your music on the radio. Um, I know you can bring it up on your phone, you can play whatever song you want, but there's something unifying about the radio. There's something about everybody else hearing the same thing that you're hearing. And on one of the radio stations, they usually do the top 5 songs of the day. Today they did the top 5 Prince requested songs, and that was cool. And the even better part was that they played the long versions of them. Now, if you're not a big Prince fan and you don't know much about his music, with most of Prince's stuff, you'll hear a song on the radio. There's a 3 minute or so, a pop cut, if you will. Um, but he also, on most of his albums, there's usually about a 6, 7, sometimes even a 12-minute version of the song. And those were always great. And they actually played the extended cuts of all his songs. So you didn't just hear, the 3 minute Let's Go Crazy or the 3 minute 1999. You got the 6, 7 minute one, which, I don't know, just made me feel good and gave me a really good feeling that, everybody was experiencing the same thing. Um, of course, I guess the only upside of his death will be now it's huge publicity, and there's going to be a lot more people that are going to be exposed to him. That's kind of a weird thing to think of, but really that's the silver lining you got to kind of find in it. That when people die like this, typically people go, oh, they were so amazing, they were so great, and this guy deserves it. He deserves to have people say how incredibly talented he is, because he was. Everybody, probably everybody likes a Prince song, one or another. And if you haven't really listened to him, I would implore you to really, really go through his collection. Really, really go through it. Don't just go through, the very best of the 17 or whatever pop hits that everybody likes. Really explore it. Listen to full albums. He was one of those albums guys that really, had a lot of great stuff to offer. And he's all over the map too. I mean, he's got really raunchy sexual stuff to the most heavenly. He literally has a song called "The Holy River," which I thought was amazing. And because we're kind of a comic channel, I guess I'll tie it up a little bit. I've had this for about a year. I got it at the local shop from Mike, and it's amazing. And kind of the even sadder part about this book is that it's written by Dwayne McDuffie. If you don't know who Dwayne McDuffie is, he was a comic book writer, creator. He created Static Shock, wrote a lot of the scripts for the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited show. Insanely talented. And now I got this. It's like looking at written by an insanely talented guy that was gone too soon about an insanely talented guy that was gone too soon. It's amazing 90s camp. It's all about Prince on his motorcycle. Of course, there's another rival guy who has a motorcycle just like him. He steals Prince's girl. Prince breaks up gang fights and lets them all know that, we shouldn't be fighting. It's very, very, I don't know, Prince and Michael Jackson in the 90s, like, they knew what gangs were, but I don't think they knew what gangs were. Like, they could just show up and be like, hey, why are we all fighting about this? Let's put our weapons down and let's jam. And that was the beauty of the 90s. But yeah, if you can get your hands on a copy of the Prince comic book, I would highly recommend it. Read it. I don't think it's really worth anything. I see them up on eBay for like 99 cents. Maybe now since he's gone, maybe they'll skyrocket in price. I hope not. I just hope that they're there for those who enjoy them. But anyways, yeah, so that's kind of more of a vlog entry or whatever today. So that's what we got. Yeah, so we'll talk to you later. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. See you.